Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and this reading is going to be on a very serious note. I'm going to try to answer many questions that I have. I hope you guys are all as interested in this as I am, but I want to try and dig into the future of the migrant families, because I guess Joe and Kamala have said that they would establish a task force to try and reunite the migrant families. And I guess there's about 628 of them. Oh my goodness. That's because of Trump's zero tolerance policy. And that started in 2017. And I guess they've separated more than 3,000 children from their families. Oh, man. And it has affected, I guess, about 500,000 over. I think it was, if I remember, I think it was 5,460 some families. So, with this spread, I'm going to dive into what Joe and Kamala, what the Biden-Harris administration, what are their plans? How successful will they be? What the future is for this situation? Things like that. Okay, so what's really going on? What will the forces... Now, this is after Joe and Kamala are, inaugurated. Okay, so... But I believe they're working on it already. But let's see what's really going on. Okay. This next card will be for their challenges. Okay. And then their plans. I think later on I can look at like what they're actually doing. But we'll tell by the card as well. The card will reveal. Yeah, okay. And how successful or not will they be? Ooh, I like that. Okay, and then the future to these, for this project of reuniting them. Okay. And I'm going to lay little Lenormand cards around as well. Okay, so bear with me while I get those cards drawn. Okay, so the forces in motion. Oops. Hold on, I need to reshuffle because I just flipped over a few cards. Okay. Their challenges. Okay. Their plans. Or maybe plans and actions. Oh goodness. How successful or not will they be? And the future. Okay. So of course I can always draw a little bit more, but let's get these. Oops. Something like that. Okay. Should have raised my camera up, dang it. Oh well. I forgot. I just done some spiritual growth readings and the camera was down low. Okay, so... Actually, I remember the cards went like this, in this order. And this order. Okay. And then over here, if I have enough room, remember it went like this. Okay, that should do it. Well, let's make a little more room for closed captioning. Okay, so with the forces in motion, yikes, with the Four of Swords reversed, there's a lot of, anxiety over it. They are really worried, they're really concerned, they really care. But it might just be a big mess, like it might just be so darn hard. Think of like herding cats, or think of overcoming this selfishness and greed that has happened in the Trump administration. I mean, my goodness. We even have to remember that it was the Health and Human Services that they had, I think, if I remember correctly, they hadn't been told that the Trump administration was actually separating families. But if I remember right, the Department of Homeland Services and the Department of Justice under, little, what's his face, drove me nuts, Rosenstein, they knew, they were warned. They were warned of the lifelong abuse, that the lifelong trauma and abuse that would happen, or the trauma because of the abuse, I should say. Abuse here, trauma here, yeah, this is just awful. But anyway, Rod Rosenstein, I remember, why I said he didn't care, or why I say that I know he didn't care, because when he was confronted about it, he said it wasn't up to the Department of Justice to track the children, so they did not. Well, how about finding somebody who would, if you really cared? But no, he didn't care. He's a spineless little twerp. So, so that happened, and this is all because of Stephen Miller and, well, it's Trump and his zero tolerance policy, but it's also, we have to remember, who was that other little guy, the little elf guy, oh yeah, Jeff Sessions, that guy. It was Jeff Sessions, and then he resigned, and then Rod Rosenstein was in there. But anyway, this just feels like this selfishness of the heart, this selfishness around people not caring, and the greed, the actual, this is nothing against cats, because I don't see cats this way at all. I'm just telling you the meaning of this card. It has to do with greed and fickleness and selfishness and not caring, except for what they can play with, right here. You can see they want to play with the yarn. But it might just be such a big ball of yarn that it's, and they care. Yeah, I'm sure that Biden and Kamala will care, but it could be that they have so many other things on their plate. And they might be feeling even a little bit helpless, because with the Four of Swords here reversed, I mean, this is a card of anxiety. It's a card of major burnout and, being really stressed, like high anxiety. So this is really a big mess here. These cards don't support this card. This is just, but it does look like the caring is there, but I don't know how successful they're going to be to help reunite the kids. I don't have the Six of Cups here. this card's pretty good as far as, trying, making offers and trying. But anyway, let's keep going. So the challenge is with the Ace of Wands reversed. The challenge is it's just really, delayed. It's bad news. It's a missed, it's an opportunity, and especially with this card here, I have to say a missed opportunity because of the abuse. Because they can't even, like right now, I'm reading this the end of December. Right now, we can't even, Biden's not even, he doesn't have the support he needs for his transition team. So he and Kamala can't, they're not able to do a whole lot. So that's just really awful. That's the major challenge, has been the amount of abuse, and then this inability to actually get something going. It is really sad. And then we have, COVID going on, and there's so much, you know what I mean? It's like the house is on fire. You put the fire out the house, or you go try to rescue the people that are lost. What do you do? What do you do first is the problem. Well, of course you try to get the burning, the people out of the burning house. But then, the house would probably burn down. Once that's done, that's the problem. This is just so sad. It's so sad. And so unnecessary. These people are just monsters, The whole Trump organization and everyone that is racist. Ugh. They're just so hateful. So, but with Biden, back to Biden and Harris, they're definitely going to try. This looks to me like their plans are to try to put everything out there that they can, and to send people. This would be like sending people to get information. And they're definitely, their plans are to end this awful, to end this situation, to end anything like this happening. So they're going to put into action something else that will be much more humane. And I guess, because the Trump administration took so much flack about this, and Trump himself, I think they did stop the separation. And they did try to reunite some people, or they said they did, but I don't know if I believe any of it. It's awful. But this does look like the plans and actions will be that they will try, and that the lockup situation will end. Or the separation at least will end. Now, as far as attracting success or not, well, with the Knight of Cups, it's definitely, the offer's there, the caring is there. This can be looked at as like rescuing. This can be a card of rescuing. But then we have illness here, and we have COVID. But there is this caring and warmth. This is also a card of caretaking. So maybe this is not about COVID. Maybe this is about they will be successful in trying to take care of these people and bringing the warmth of the ones that they can, bringing maybe there'll be a program where they can receive therapy. Now, if you want to help the situation out, you can donate to the ACLU, because they're the ones that are, helping to support what these families have gone through, and also to incarcerate or at least incriminate somehow, to make the part, or at least, Trump himself pay for this. These are crimes against humanity. So in the future, in the future with, this is a weird card. This is an apathetic card. This is an offer, but it's something that you don't really want. It's also like being stuck, and it's also regret. It's also like refusing an offer. And these two cards speak to me as to immigration. Immigration. Foreign and travel. Foreign immigration. So I think what they're going to try to do, or what the future will bring, is that they're probably going to try to put together some program, some type of amnesty program for these people coming, that have tried to come in. But it's not going to be the best. It's not going to be, it's just, we're in a really, the world and the corruption that's going on with these countries who, are forcing people out who have to flee for their lives. That's the real cause. The migration is just the symptom. And it's also because of global warming too. They can't, like, what if you're in one of those countries that, like Honduras, or, in areas where you can't, they can't even grow coffee beans anymore. When people are starving, and then you have the gangs, there is that's happening. So this is a card of regret, and it's sad. This is a migration. This is the migration issue that is just very, very sad. I don't know what else to say about it, honestly. Well, okay, let me ask some other questions. Just some simple yes and no questions and I have this little deck here that I'll use for that. Okay, so hold on. There we go. There are my questions right here. Let me set this here so that I can, hopefully it'll stay. Yeah, okay. All right, so what I want to know, actually, hold on. Let me use this deck for the first question. I want to know what has happened or what is happening to the ones that were detained in hotels. Like, how were they treated? Was there sexual abuse? So this one's more than a yes and no. So how are they treated? So they took a lot of kids out and just kept them in hotels all over the world. You guys can look that up. You can Google it. Or all over the world. What am I saying? All over the states. And they primarily were in states, around the borders, of course. So we're talking like Arizona, Texas. Maybe even Florida. Okay, so what happened to them? How are they treated? Okay. I'm gonna do another row. Oops, under this. Let's do it this way. Got a little bit of a story going on here, so let's see what else happened, because these look like the people that were in control. So I want to know what happened to the kids. Okay, I feel better, except for these two cards, but I don't see any sexual abuse here. We don't have the whip card to show abuse. We don't have the snake card that has to do with sexuality. What I do see, though, so this was, I have to put this in the category of men. These were the men and the women that were in charge of moving them domestically across the country. And they were paid, highly paid. There might have even been some kickbacks because there's a flow. But they're the ones that are, they're guilty. They're guilty, but they were also burdened. It was their job, I guess. Of course, they could have quit their job, or they could have. This could be the camps. This could be the burden of the camps. And it looks like there was, there men and women who cared for them. This is definitely the camps. So some of them, okay, so they were moved around. This is weird. So I guess they were moved around in order to keep the flow of money going towards I don't know if it would have been Health and Human Services or, Homeland, like Department of Homeland, DHS, Department of Homeland Services. But anyway, there's money here, money here. So, but what happened to the kids? So they were fed well. I can say they were fed well. But there was a lot of conflict and kind of battling. And I don't know that, well, it's danger. It was dangerous. Of course, there's trauma there, but I can't say that they were sexually abused, but they were in a dangerous situation, just moving them around. They didn't feel safe. Of course they didn't feel safe. They felt like they were suddenly just moved and cut out, suddenly they had to travel. Because these people were greedy. There's something about them just moving them around. And then finally being sent back home, I think, or sent back to wherever, sent somewhere. We don't have the home card here. I don't even have the storks, which could show, going back home. I don't have the house card or the storks, but movement. And what they received was this just, conflicting feelings. Yeah, they were fed, but then the rest of it was harsh. And I don't think they felt safe at all. But they were definitely controlled. They might have had some feminine care a little bit. So, okay, I don't know what else to say about that. Oh, if you guys get anything more, feel free to comment. Seriously. All right, so I want to know, were any of these children trafficked? Yes or no? Were any of these children... I've pulled out the neutral cards, the maybe cards, and I'm left with just the yes and no cards here. So I want to know, were any of these children trafficked? No. Okay. Glad to know that. Were any of them adopted? Were any of them adopted? Same card. No. Maybe there's a hidden message here, because this is a card of complications. Like maybe it would have been way too complicated. Okay. Will the Trump administration be charged with crimes against humanity for this? Oh, I'm sorry, no, will Trump be charged with crimes against humanity for this? Because it was his zero tolerance policy. Will Trump be charged? Okay. That's a yes. That's a yes. Oh, awesome. Okay, will anyone in his administration be charged? Wait, hold on. Let me go back up. Will Trump be sentenced? Will he be sentenced? Charging is one thing, but will he be sentenced for crimes against humanity? That's a yes. And that's the immigration card. Woohoo! Okay. Will anyone in his administration be charged? Let's say charged, well, let's say charged and sentenced. Or will it just all go on him? Well, no, wait, that's two questions. Will anyone in his administration be charged and sentenced for crimes against humanity because of the migrant children and their families? That's a yes. Oh, yay. Oh, there is hope for this. Okay. Now this is totally a different question. Will any ICE officers or other Border Patrol agents be indicted for sexual abuse, in the camps? Because we know it happened. Will they be indicted? How about indicted and sentenced? That's a yes. But there'll be big obstacles around it. Or this could be that there's two of them. Interesting. There's the sexual abuse. And so, yes, but I think it'll be a big obstacle with a lot of complications. Let's ask another question here. Or let me ask another question here. Will there be new laws that change all of this so this can't happen in the United States again? Will there be new laws created to prevent this from happening again? That's a no. That's a yes. That's about recovery, abuse and recovery. Because things were tricky. Maybe we already do have laws and Trump circumvented them somehow. Maybe it'll just be getting rid of his administration. Because if all these other people can be tried again, for crimes, if Trump can be tried, if Trump can be indicted, sentenced, and other people, for crimes against humanity, that tells me the laws are already in place. So this would be a recovery of these nefarious deeds. And they all did it for money, you know. John Kelly's in on it. There's a bunch of people in on it. A bunch of people that made money. People that are, you know, that have to do with, like, you know, the prison industry authority and, you know, it's the whole prison, private prisons, things like that. Ugh. It's sad. Okay, but that's it. That's all I have for this terrible situation. How about we just pray for everyone involved? How about we send lots of love? How about we send lots of gentle, you know, prayers of healing to help, you know, help anyone who's been, you know, who has experienced anything like this. And not just in the United States, but everywhere. How about we just encircle the globe and pray for these people and these children and these families? Oh, yes. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Take care. Bye.